Hey guys, so I'm back, and actually, since I've come back, I got a few messages from a few people asking me since I mentioned I'm going to see Batman versus Superman, what my thoughts are on several things that have happened since they said they were going to be making the movie, such as, uh, I don't know, I forget her name, but that they're putting Wonder Woman in this, they're putting Batman, of course, because it's Batman vs Superman. Rumors are of Nightwing being in there. I don't really think that's true, though. I doubt they're gonna put Nightwing in there because that's just stupid. But my whole thoughts on the whole the simple idea of Batman vs Superman being made off the comic book The Dark Knight Returns, which I love that comic book, so I'm actually pretty excited to see that. I just think this is smart on DC's part to get ahead with Marvel after they did the Avengers, and now they're doing movies after the Avengers, and they're bringing us Avengers 2, which I will also be seeing, and I'll probably do a video about the Avengers 2, just my thoughts on it. But once I heard that they were doing Batman vs Superman, I was like, 2015, get here soon because I am stoked for this movie. This is gonna be probably one of the biggest movies of 2015, apart from a few other films. A few of my friends want to go to see 50 Shades of Grey. I'm not gonna be one of those guys because I've read the book. It's a good book, but let's just not go into that because I know I'll just get hate for that. But anyway, uh, Ben Affleck as Batman, I think is smart. I saw Daredevil, and to be honest, I hated it, but that was not really Ben Affleck's fault. Ben Affleck was just the actor. The writing was horrible. That's not his fault, so I don't really condemn uh, Ben Affleck for Daredevil. That was just horrible all around. But yeah, I think he's gonna. I saw The Town, and he was amazing, and then I know he can play a badass Batman and a dark Batman, which is what we loved about The Dark Knight, Batman Begins, The Dark Knight Rises. That is why I love those movies, and I can never stop watching them. Dark Knight Rises could have been better, but after The Dark Knight, you were going to be disappointed regardless, because The Dark Knight was just a masterpiece. And just, I mean, think about the fact before Batman Begins, we had Batman and Robin, and that was like a huge mess. Let's not even get started on how bad the Batman franchise was before that. Anyway, that's kind of sidetracking. Henry Cavill plays an amazing Superman. Uh, Basically, my only problem with Man of Steel was the ending, not the whole Superman breaking Zod's neck. Because let's remember, he was only Superman for about less than 24 hours after he did that. But the whole glasses, Clark. Oh, I'm Clark Kent. You can't recognize me even though you saw me just the other day as Superman. Yeah, that was kind of stupid. But bringing Wonder Woman in is actually really really smart in a way because they're pushing up for the Justice League, and I mean, if you want to bring Wonder Woman in, why not bring her into the movie that everybody's going to be seeing because it has the two biggest superheroes in all comic book history. I love Spider-Man, Iron Man, Thor. I love them all, but when you talk about big superheroes, you're talking Superman and Batman. These guys are just what every kid grew up with. If you grew up with either Superman or Batman, and then you kind of went into Spider-Man, and maybe some people didn't grow up with Spider-Man instead. I'll tell you this much: I grew up with Batman. I loved Batman in the animated series. I loved him in all the comic books. I think Batman has probably one of the best rogue gallery villains in all of comic book history. I mean, we got the Joker, Bane, Talia al Ghul, Ra's al Ghul, or I'm sorry, Ra's al Ghul as he's actually supposed to be pronounced. Just the best villains. So I'm really excited for this movie. I'm kind of wondering who the main villain is. A lot of people assume it's going to be Lex Luthor, and I think that would probably be a smart idea because for Justice League, I was hoping that they would push either Doomsday or some big villain that the whole Justice League has to come together and go against, much like the Avengers had to do with Loki. But when it comes to like a villain for just a Man of Steel 2 sequel, I'm thinking Lex Luthor. The only problem with that is I don't really see anybody who could play Lex Luthor who they've already casted. Um, I know they casted a new actor and he hasn't been revealed of what he's actually doing, but judging by what I saw, I don't think he would be Lex Luthor. But I'm just like overly excited because when this is what basically I grew up wanting to see. Besides anything else, I've always wanted to see a good version of Batman versus Superman, and we all know that it's not going to be a Batman and Superman teaming up, which it's probably going to end up being them teaming up. But for like probably the first beginning of this film, it's going to be about Superman not being happy that he has a vigilante around, and we all know Batman's going to be. This is him coming back, and he's already been Batman for a while, so he's got that whole uh, I won't, won't kill anybody, moral, and Superman, who has already killed technically somebody. It's going to be a really interesting take on it. And that one quote that they said when they first announced that Batman was Superman, I was like, oh man, this is going to be awesome. And whatever you guys like think, give me your comments of what you think this movie is going to be like. Uh, One more thing was Kryptonite, and I really think they have to introduce it. Uh, Hopefully, they introduce it in a way that doesn't make it seem kind of stupid, because the whole a rock making Superman week is kind of funny in itself. But I really think if they do this correctly, it's going to set up for Justice League, and then they can hopefully make a solo new Batman franchise, a solo Wonder Woman franchise if this girl bulks up and d- throws us for a whole loop of how good she is. Because I've seen her in Fast and the Furious with The Rock, and she didn't have a huge role, but she showed us that she can be badass and she can kick ass, and that's a part of Wonder Woman, but also another part is she has this whole dark history. So I'm really excited, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Catch you later.